Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Nur Hidayah binti Ahmad Maliki and my partner Siti Najwa Najiha binti Norani. We're going to present the linked list assignment 1 and we are from section 5. Firstly, we use the structure name as student to define a struct. There are a few variables that are created, such as ID as integer, name as character, that array of size 20, CPA as double, and student as struct linked to NetSPTR. Okay, this is the insert function. Insert function has 3 parameters, which are ID as integer, name as character, and CPA as double. We use the malloc method. Malloc method stands for memory allocated, and this is we assign all the name. We use the if-else statement. For the if-else statement, if the head is null, we're going to set a student as a new head. Else, it going to the list is not empty, and it will insert the student in the beginning of head. Okay, next, this is for deleting function. We have one parameter, which is ID as integer. We use the while loop. For the while loop, we have new variable that not equal to null. In the while loop, we have nested if selection. First, if we going to get the new variable 1 as ID that equal to ID, and it will display the ID number of ID that the user insert for student, and it will display it found. If not, it's going to begin the if-else statement, another if. For the if new variables 1 equal to new variable 2, this condition it will run if the record that we need to delete is the first node of the linked list. Else, the new variables of the NetSPTR that assigned to new variable 1, and it will become free, the same as if. So it will display the statement of the ID number. D stands for ID that user insert, and it will be successfully deleted, and it will return the value. There are the assigned new variable 1 that assigned to new variable 2, and new variable 1, the NetSPTR that assigned to new variable 1. The last, when all of this finish, the while loop it will display the ID number that user input is not found. It's not found because the input are not there or was not correct. Okay, next I will pass to the next presenter, Najwa.
So I will explain about the function display and also main function. So as we can see here, we have a void display, which is it's the functions to display all the data inside the linked list. So we have a struct student s3 new underscore variable equal to head. Then we will use while condition, which is it will print f ID number and also name and also the CPA. Then we will have int main, which is a main function in this program, and it will printf wants to insert, 2 to delete, and 3 to display. This is the functions that we have in the system management student management system. So it will do the do loops, which is it require us to enter the choice, either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Number 1 is to insert, number 2 is to delete, and number 3 to display. So as we can see here, we use the switch case, which is if we choose the number 1, it will ask the user to enter ID number, enter name, and also enter CPA. While the case number 2, it will ask us to enter ID number to delete. So the last one is a case number 3. It will display all the data in the linked list. So I will show you how the program works. So this is how the program will appear on the screen, which is it will ask number 1 to insert, number 2 to delete, and number 3 to display. Then enter your choice. Then I will choose the number 1. Then it will ask to enter ID number. So we insert number 1 and we enter name, which is Najwa. Then we will enter the CPA, which is 3.98. Then it will loop again and ask the user to enter choice. So you can choose either number 1, number 2, or 3. Then I will choose the number 1 again to insert another new data in the linked list. Then we will have number 2 as ID number, then the name, which Hidayah. Then we will enter the CPA. Then it will enter choice again. It will display enter choice again. So here I'm going to choose 3, which is to display. Then it will display the data in the linked list that we just entered just now, which is we got an ID number 1, which is Najwa, and ID number 2 is Hidayah. So I'm going to enter choice again, which is number 2, which is to delete. So it asks us to enter ID number to delete. So I choose a number 1 since I want to delete Najwa data. So it will display ID number 1 is founded and ID number 1 is deleted. So we choose 3 to display again to check either it's deleted or not. Then yes, we can see here the ID number 1 is gone. Then I will choose again number 2 to delete, but this time I'm going to put a 5. So it display here ID number 5 is not found, which is now ID number 5 is not in the linked list. As we can see just now, we only have 2, which is number 1 and number 2. Then we delete a number 1 and now we got only number 2. Then we insert number 5, which is it is not in the linked list. So it will display ID number 5 is not found. So that's it from us. Thank you.